Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to my channel. In today's lecture, we are going to study about a muscular system. So let's start today's topic. What is muscular system? As we have already know about many things related to cells, tissues, organ system in our 9th and 10th grade. So I just wanna review that information and I want to relate that information with today's topic. So we have already know that when cells combine together, when similar cells combine together, they form tissue. And when tissues combine together, they form organ. And when different organs combine together or they work together in a coordination is called organ system. So there are many organ systems present in our body. For example, nervous system, second, respiratory system, digestive system, urinary system, and one important system is muscular system and skeletal system. In today's topic, we are going to study about the muscular system. Muscular system is an organ system that is composed of muscle cells. When different muscle cells combine together, they form a muscular tissue. When muscular tissue combine, it forms a muscle. There are three different types of muscles present in a human body, in a vertebrate body. One is skeletal muscle, second is a smooth muscle, and third is a cardiac muscle. Okay. The muscle cells, these are specialized cells. Muscle system or muscles are specialized cells which have the capacity to perform one unique function called contraction. They have the ability to contract and relax. Okay. Muscular system is an organ system that includes skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, and smooth muscles. Muscular tissue is a group of muscle cells. Muscle cells are specialized to perform one unique function to generate a pulling force, that is, they can short or contract. There are more than 600 muscles in a human body. In the left up top, they are showing a muscular system. There are more than 600 muscles in a human body, and they constitute about more than half of the person's weight. So, if a person is 75 kg, for example, if a person has a weight of 75 kg, the half of his weight will be half of his weight is due to the muscular system, muscles. Half of the weight is due to muscles. Okay. These three types of muscles are present in a vertebrate body. Invertebrates do not have all these muscles. Okay, they likely have a smooth muscles. Let's first talk about skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle is a type of muscle that is associated with the bones. It is a type of muscle that we see with the bones. Skeletal system. Skeletal muscle, the name is showing the muscle that is associated with the skeletal system or bones. And they allow our skeleton to move. For example, if you want to grasp an apple placed on a table, then you first extend your arm and grasp it with your hand. Different muscles and different bones, when work together, they help us in the grasping of an apple. Okay, we move our humerus, our radius, our ulna, our bones of hand with the help of the skeletal system. Okay, skeletal muscles are voluntary muscles. Voluntary means they work under our own will. If I want to grasp an apple, I will grasp it. If I want to walk, I will walk. If I don't want to, I just want to sit, then I will sit. and I don't, if I don't want to perform any function, my skeletal muscles will not work. They are under the control of my will. Okay. Microscopically, skeletal muscles look striated. Stripes, we see stripes in the skeletal muscle, hence they are called striated muscles. Okay, striated muscles. Skeletal muscles are also called striated muscles because we see striations, stripes within the skeletal muscles microscopically. So one important information here is about the tendon. What is tendon? A tough, non-elastic tissue that connects muscles to bones is called a tendon. So here, this is a skeletal muscle, okay, and this is a bone. A tough, non-elastic tissue, this is a tough, non-elastic tissue that is connecting muscle to the bone, okay, is called tendon. You should be able to differentiate between a tendon and a ligament. A tendon is a non-elastic tissue that connects muscle to bone, whereas a ligament is a connective tissue that connects one bone to another bone. Okay, bone to bone connection is ligament, bone to muscle connection is through tendon. Okay, which is very important related to exams. So moving forward, contraction of a skeletal muscle. How do the skeletal muscles contract? When muscles contract, first of all, due to the energy or something, when muscles contract, it pulls the tendon, which in turn pulls the muscle, causing it to move. How the movement takes place due to the contraction of the skeletal muscle? So look at this diagram again. First, the muscle contract. When muscle contract, it pulls the tendon. When it pulls the tendon, that tendon pulls the bone. And due to the pulling of the bone, the movement takes place. Now, very important information, origin of a skeletal muscle and insertion of a skeletal muscle. What is origin? The attachment of the muscle to the stationary part of the bone is called origin. For an example, this is the femur bone, this longitudinal bone, thigh bone is the femur bone, and this red muscle is attached at 2 points, upper point and the lower point. Okay. The attachment of the muscle to the stationary part of the bone. This is the stationary part of the bone. Okay, this is the stationary part of the bone, and this is lower part is the movable part of the bone. The attachment of the muscle to the stationary part of the bone is called origin of the muscle, and the lower attachment, the attachment of the muscle to the movable part of the bone is called insertion. Now I just want to elaborate it. वो मसल बोन के उस पार्ट पर अटैच होगा जहां से बोन मूवमेंट नहीं करती, तो उसको बोलते हैं ओरिजिन, एंड द अदर पार्ट वेयर द बोन मूव्स is called insertion. The attachment of the muscle to this lower part is called insertion. Because if I want to move my knee joint को move करूंगी तो ये lower part move करेगा, upper part stationary रहेगा. Okay, origin and insertion. Now the second muscle, and very important muscle, is a smooth muscle. Smooth muscles, these are the simplest of all the muscle types. Skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, and smooth muscle. The simplest from all three is the smooth muscle, is the simplest from all these three muscles. Okay. Unlike skeletal muscles, smooth muscles are non-striated. No stripes are seen, no striations are seen within the smooth muscle. Okay. They consist of a long spindle-shaped cells. You can see here the no striations, and they consist of a long spindle-shaped uninucleated cells. Each cell has a one nucleus. Uninucleated cells. Smooth muscles usually surround the body's hollow organs. For an example, digestive tract. Other examples are lungs and urinary bladder. These all organs like the urinary bladder, the GIT, whole of the GIT from esophagus to the anus, and and the and what and urinary bladder, they all have, and the lungs, they all have which type of a muscle? They have a smooth muscle. Okay, smooth muscles, the difference point from the striated or skeletal muscle is that they are they are spindle in shape, and they are non-striated. First, second, they are uninucleated. They have a one nucleus and they are spindle shaped. You can see here, spindle shaped, uninucleated, one nucleus, spindle shaped, and they surround the body's hollow organs. Okay, they are involuntary. Okay, they are smooth muscles, they are involuntary muscles, they are not under the control of our will. Okay, once i once I eat a food, once I take a food into my mouth, then from the mouth, whole of the journey of the food up to the anus is involuntary, not under my control. It goes from the mouth to the pharynx, from the pharynx to the esophagus, from the esophagus to the anus, esophagus to the stomach, to the small intestine, large intestine, up to the anus. This is not under my control. I cannot say to the food that stop, don't don't move from esophagus to the stomach. This is not going to happen. Okay, so what are the functions of smooth muscles? There are many functions of smooth muscles. The important functions are they contract and dilate the pupil of our eye. So our eye has a pupil. Okay, the pupil has two types of muscles, the sphincter muscles and the dilator muscle. Okay, so the contraction of the pupil and the dilation of the pupil, these two muscles of the pupil, which I am telling you, the sphincter muscle and dilator muscle, these are smooth muscles. So these are smooth muscles. So smooth muscles contract and dilate our pupil. Second, they empty your urinary bladder. They help us to empty the urinary bladder. So the urinary bladder has a smooth muscle. When the smooth muscles of the urinary bladder contract, the urine goes from the bladder into the urethra, and from the urethra out of our body. Okay. Third important function is control the diameter of blood vessels. Our blood vessels, arteries and veins, they are surrounded by which type of a muscle? Smooth muscles. So they control the diameter. Contraction of the smooth muscle, they constrict the vessel, and the dilation of the smooth muscle or relaxation of the smooth muscle, they dilate the blood vessel. Okay. Another function, erection of hair of the skin. So the hair present on our skin, they are under the control of which muscle? Smooth muscles. So erection of our hair during the winter season is due to the contraction of the smooth muscle present in association with the hair. They push the food through the GIT. So the food we take in our mouth goes from the mouth oral cavity into the pharynx, and then into the esophagus, from esophagus into the stomach, from the stomach to the small intestine, and from small intestine to the large intestine, and from large intestine to the anus and rectum, and then out of our body. So they push the food through the GIT. The whole of the GIT is surrounded by which type of a muscle? Smooth muscle. Okay. The third and very, very important muscle is a cardiac muscle. You can remember this muscle, cardiac, from the name. The cardiac means heart. So the muscle that is associated with the cardiac system, with the heart, is called the cardiac muscles. Okay. They are so named because they only form the musculature of the heart. These are the only muscles that surround the heart. Okay, so only heart is surrounded by the cardiac muscle, not any other organ is surrounded by the cardiac muscle. These muscles have a combined property of both smooth muscles and skeletal muscles. Some of the properties of the cardiac muscles resemble to the smooth muscles, and some of the properties of the cardiac muscles resemble to the skeletal muscles. Like skeletal muscles, they are striated. You can see here, they are striated. Striations were also seen in striated muscle, skeletal muscle, and striated are also present in cardiac muscle. So this is the resemblance point between cardiac muscle and skeletal muscle. Okay, striations. And like smooth muscle, they are involuntary. The contraction of heart is not under our control. If you want to say to heart, so I don't want to live for a while and stop beating, this is not going to happen, obviously, because heart is not under our control, not under our will. It is working in its own pace, in its own contraction. Okay. And like skeletal muscles, they are involuntary, they are not under our control. Cardiac muscles may be uninucleated or binucleated. Some cells may be uninucleated, some cells have one nucleus, or some cells have two nucleus. Okay. Moving forward, what are the functions of a cardiac muscles? When cardiac muscle fibers contract, the entire chamber of the heart squeezes to maintain the flow of blood. So, blood from the body, when comes into the heart, into the right side of the heart, and from into the right side of the heart from whole of the body, and from the lungs, the purified blood comes into the left side of the heart. So the heart, when wants to pump blood to the whole body, the oxygenated blood, when it wants to pump the whole oxygenated blood into the body and deoxygenated blood into the lungs, the heart contracts and squeezes. Okay. And push blood out of the chamber into the vessels. They contract and relax continuously in a rhythmic pattern. A rhythmic pattern means the heart heart contracts 60 to 100 times in a minute. 60 to 100 times in a minute is the range of the contraction of heart. If heart contracts beyond that range, for example, if heart contracts 200 times per minute, this is not a normal rhythm. This is an abnormal rhythm. And if heart contracts below 60 times, for example, if it is contracting 40 times per minute, this is not also normal. This is an abnormal rhythm. So the normal rhythm of heart is 60 to 100 beats per minute. Okay. If this should be the normal rhythm, this rhythm should be maintained. And if heart does not contract in that rhythm, it is called abnormal rhythm. Okay, that is not good for a heart and our body. This rhythmic contraction is called heartbeat. The rhythmic contraction of heart is called the heartbeat, and that heartbeat is originated in a specialized area of the heart called SA node, or also called the pacemaker of the heart. Because of this pacemaking property, the heart is independent of the nervous system for its contraction, and heartbeat is generated by the cardiac muscle itself. Okay. So the contraction of the heart is originated from the SA node. They are not showing here, but the specialized area is present here called the SA node or pacemaker of the heart. The electrical activity of the heart originates from the SA node, and then it goes to whole of the musculature of the heart, and then heart contracts. Okay. SA node is the pacemaker of the heart. This is very important regarding to exam point of view. So this was all about today's lecture. Before ending today's lecture, I just want to overview today's lecture on this slide. Okay. So on the left side, they are showing the skeletal muscle. Okay. And the microscopic appearance of the skeletal muscle. In the middle, they are showing the heart, obviously the cardiac muscle. And the third, they are showing the smooth muscles. Okay. Cardiac muscles are striated muscles. They have striations, okay, and they are uninucleated. Smooth muscles, they are spindle shaped. You can see they are spindle shaped, and they are spindle shaped and uninucleated or binucleated. Okay. They are skeletal muscles. They are voluntary. Smooth muscles, they are involuntary. In the middle, they are showing cardiac muscle, and cardiac muscle, the sum of the properties of cardiac muscles resemble to skeletal muscle, and some of the properties of cardiac muscles resemble to smooth muscle. The property of the cardiac muscle that resembles to skeletal muscle is that they have striations. You can see here the striations. Okay, these lines, these strips. Okay. The property of the cardiac muscle that resembles to smooth muscle is that cardiac muscle is involuntary and smooth muscle is also involuntary. Before ending, very, very important slide, fill in the blanks. Okay. Heartbeat is initiated in a specialized area of the heart called dash. So the correct answer is SA node, or the pacemaker of the heart, where the electrical activity of the heart originates. Like skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles are. So the answer is, like skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles are striated. They have striations. The third blank is, muscles which are associated with the bones are called. So the answer is skeletal muscle. The muscles which are associated with the bones or skeletal system are called skeletal muscles. The fourth is, muscles which help you to empty your urinary bladder are dash. So the answer is smooth muscle, because urinary bladder, the musculature of urinary bladder is smooth muscle. So the muscles which help you to empty your urinary bladder are smooth muscles. The fifth and the last blank is, the tough non-elastic tissue that connects muscles to bone is dash. So the answer should be tendon. The non-elastic tissue that connects muscle to bone is tendon, and the non-elastic tissue that connects bone to bone is ligament. Okay, so here should be tendon. This is all for today's class. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel.